You believe in the moon landing, right?
I used to believe in the moon landing.
You don't anymore?
One of the things that I think you have to consider is, if it's not possible for human beings to safely go through the Van Allen radiation belts and out into deep space without much protection and face the temperatures that are on the surface of the moon, which get up to 250 degrees and 250 degrees below zero in the shadows. There's no environment there. It's hostile beyond belief. Micrometeorites are flying into the moon all the time. They're flying through space all the time. We've never had a single biological organism go out into deep space, past the Van Allen radiation belts, and then come back to Earth and come back alive, except human beings during the Apollo missions. Every single space station mission, every single space shuttle mission, all of them are inside 350 miles from the Earth's surface. The only time human beings have ever been past that and through the Van Allen radiation belts was the Apollo missions. And we were the only humans that were ever able to do that. The Russians never figured out how to do it. No one else figured out how to do it but the Apollo astronauts.
So with Artemis 2 yesterday, guys, it has brought up so many people basically just calling out how fake not only was the original moon landing, I have gone over that thoroughly. It has been thoroughly debunked. But most people believe it for the reasons why that Joe Rogan said, right? That, the debris and the Van Allen belt and all of that. But we know as Christians, what the Bible says is that we live under a firmament and that it is impenetrable. They cannot go up. And this is one reason why they all curve. All the rockets curve, whether it's SpaceX or NASA or anywhere else in the world. They curve just like a missile, right? And just like a rainbow. And they say it's because, the Earth is curved. So then that's how they have to build up the speed to go around the curvature of the Earth. And then they're going to shoot out. Really? We'll get into that probably in another video just to go over where it just looks like they just shooting a missile into the Bermuda Triangle. But so you have the science community or, who just is like, this is impossible. It doesn't make sense. And then, like I said, the Christian community or those who don't even have to be Christian, people who just believe in every single civilization up until NASA came along, knew that we lived under a firmament. Yes. And that the Earth was not round. And I always tell people, you don't believe the government about anything, right? But you'll believe NASA. You just saw what happened with the Epstein files, and the same government is now giving you this NASA psyop slop. But yeah, let's get into this, guys, because this was fun last night, seeing NASA get roasted. I mean, for filth. Even people who were true believers, they were just so upset at the footage and how it was always cutting. It was terrible. They didn't have good cameras, but that's all on purpose. And of course, you can't ignore that it was April Fool's Day. But so this guy, he put out this video the day before. So March 31st. But the information is pretty amazing.
You guys know that NASA is returning to the moon for the first time since 1969? They're leaving tomorrow on Wednesday. Launch is targeted no earlier than 6:24 p.m. EDT Wednesday, April 1st. Did they actually do this on April Fool's Day? Do you guys know that the first official image of Earth that NASA gave to all of you sheep was on April 1st, 1960, also April Fool's Day? It's so funny that it's not enough to deceive all of humanity about where we live in God's creation, but they actually rub it in your face if you believe them because you're stupid. Guys, we have never gone to the moon. We never will go to the moon because it's not a physical object. NASA is stealing your tax money, hiding God's true creation, deceiving humanity. It honestly blows my mind that people still buy into this shit nowadays with all the information that's readily available in front of us. And I'll leave you guys with this. This is the dude that invented NASA. He discovered NASA, Wernher von Braun. And he left a little quote on his tombstone because he's dead and gone now. Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Psalms 19:1. The dude that invented NASA has a Bible quote on his tombstone that directly contradicts space. Again, rubbing it in your face. Stay tuned, guys, because I will have so much fun exposing all of the lies that go along with this mission. So don't forget to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth. Peace and love.
No, I wasn't planning on bringing this up, but since he talked about Wernher von Braun, well, guys, when I tell you there's layers to the psyops, and you have to understand what is really going on. Now, this is something I've alluded to in other videos that I've done, but this is getting into fallen angels. I'm going to show you a picture in a second, and you tell me. But I put Elon Musk has the exact same bone structure and facial markings as Wernher von Braun. The chances of this are 1 in a trillion. It's actually farther than a trillion, guys. It's improbable, completely improbable. He doesn't just look like him. Facial recognition software even says they're the same person. Wernher also predicted in 1948 that a man named Elon would colonize Mars. If you remember, that's what Elon was talking about for a long time. On a completely unrelated note, the Bible says that fallen angels don't die. They must be destroyed by God in the final judgment, meaning they live for thousands of years, even in human form, and fake their death to then take on new roles, so no one is the wiser. Okay. Look at how Look at the lines matching up. Now, Wernher von Braun is older than Elon in this. They can age reduce. Guys, they can shape shift. They cannot change their markings in their skull structure for some reason. But they cannot change these lines. Look at the wrinkles, okay? And this comes from Fittest Flat Earther, and he does an amazing breakdown, multiple breakdowns about this. But look at the symmetry on that face. Now, many people will say, I don't see it. You're reaching. Okay. But again, remember, we live in a spiritual world. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Everything has been a psyop to get to where we're going, which I told you the beast system is rising, what people will call the Great Reset. But hey, yeah, this is no big deal. Now getting into more of, the Freemasons and all the different things that go along with this. I actually played the video that many of them were Freemasons or Satanists, like literally documented Satanists. Buzz Aldrin even brought a Freemason flag with him on his moon mission. Then he later denied multiple times because he's gotten older, that they never went. It was all a hoax. But if you don't know, it says here, and there it is. 33-degree Mason symbol inside the Artemis NASA module. They are mocking us in plain sight. 3 and 3. There's more. Look at this one. They just added to this. The viewership is at 3022. The zero drop equals 322. The same as the height of the rocket, 322 feet. Skull and bones numbers all over. This is a ritual and a joke. If you don't know, that is the skull and bones number. And this is the original post it's referring to. Okay. Artemis 2 is 322 feet tall. 322 equals skull and bones number lifting off on April Fool's Day. Come on, man. This is a joke. This was literally on the screen. They did this whole holographic thing to show how tall it was. And there were more 33s. There were 33 when they were doing the countdown for a while. It was like a 9 and then 33 all on it. It's just so much symbolism. I will have to go back and just pull that all out. But I thought that'd be interesting for you to see that this is a ritual, okay? A Masonic Satanist ritual. This is what they do. And this is what the guy alluded to in the video I played. Look. This is the first television picture from space. April 1st, 1960. And I just did the math, guys. 2026 minus 1960. Well, what do you get? 66. You can take with April, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the 1, 6. Some people say that's reaching, but do with it what you may. They purposely use these numbers in everything. Their symbolism is all over. Maybe we'll do a full breakdown on even the patches that NASA wears and all of the space agencies around the world. But anyway, let's keep going. So I wanted to post this. So NASA just posted this image of Earth live from the moon launch. Just remember, this cost you billions. Look at this. What? Who is believing this mess? And here we go. So the astronauts on Artemis can get an iPhone signal out in space, but I struggle to receive calls in the middle of the city. Make it make sense. And then they couldn't have any really good cameras to film anything. There they are passing around their phones. It's so many bloopers on this thing. I'm just waiting to collect all the different bloopers people are pointing out, the CGI. Look at the glitching. Look at the magical lights. Oh, they're just glitching. It's just randomness that makes no sense. But keep going. It says a single iPhone 17 Pro has significantly more computing power than the entire Apollo guidance computer that allegedly launched Apollo 11 to the moon 57 years ago. So they're just breaking out the numbers there. Now, this is good. Looking closely at the NASA Artemis rocket, it was an inflatable. They were showing people on the ground before switching to the CGI footage for the launch. So I believe it was launched. I don't know what it was, probably partially inflatable. The whole thing could have been, but it's just a missile. That's all that went up. It was just a missile, guy. I mean, it was just a missile. The same, what we're seeing in the war. It follows the same trajectory. But look at this. Let me see if there's sound. Okay, it's just, but can you see it? Let me pause it so I can just run through it. Look at how the wrinkles, this is supposed to be solid. Wrinkles in the fabric, wrinkles on, which is supposed to be still. Look how bumpy that is. And no, that's not compression. They purposely put out the worst imaging. We have 8K. We actually have higher than 8K now. And we spend about $70 million a day on NASA. And this is the best they can do. After 66 years, after they lost the technology, right? They said to get back on the moon. And of course, they're just flying around it. They canceled the moon landing. And then, so they lost the technology. And then, if you don't know, they actually had lost the footage. Then they realized, okay, well, later on they said, well, we didn't lose it. Oh, we filmed over it. But then we were able to recover it, even though we filmed over it. This is what we're dealing with. Look at the wrinkles in this. This is a mess, a complete mess. Giving you more symbolism. Imagine participating in the worldly deception of hiding God. You aren't an accident. Nobody's landed on the moon. Space doesn't exist. Now, I want to say this. Space, what we can see nebula, we can see different stars, we can see all of these different things. That, I believe, is in beyond the firmament, within the first heaven. There are 7 heavens according to the book of Enoch, which is referenced in the Bible. Of course, they took it out and said it was for canon, and there was that's a whole thing. But understand, this is where we get a lot of our information from, as far as how many heavens. And that is what has been depicted through every civilization on Earth that has ever lived until NASA came along, right? So it's not that doesn't exist. They just can't get to it. In the Bible, it explains it in the book of Enoch, right? So all of that is there. They're just faking everything. They are. You are wonderfully made in the image of God, but feel free to put your faith and trust in these demonic deceivers. So I don't know if you can see it, but they are doing different hand symbolisms. Okay. And it's just showing, and there's a lot more pictures of people have them doing, crazy hand symbolisms. Now, this is interesting. There's a whole rabbit hole about this. Krista and Christina. So this is Krista McCloud. These are people who are supposedly died, right, in the 1986 Challenger. And then her name is Christina. And people have broken out their names. Her name is Christ in a cock. That's like, if you break out her name, Christ, like, they are literally just making fun of all of us. This is how they mock us. Now, this is an old one, but look, it says, did you know NASA hires Star Trek actors from Central Casting? This is real. This is actually real. Now, this is another one. April Fool's Day in 2015, when CERN said they accidentally destroyed our old universe and trapped us inside a parallel reality. These people have a weird sense of humor. Yes, they do. April 1st. They love that date. Now, this is just people just like, they can't believe what's happening. I gotta say, NASA must be feeling pretty awkward right now. Half the internet is already calling the new moon launch fake, and we're not even done laughing at the last one yet. Come on, guys, step it up a notch this time. At least make the CGI look expensive. Either way, thank you for the much needed comedic relief. My tinfoil hat and I are thoroughly entertained. Yes, mine too. Mine too. And it says, imagine launching a rocket to the moon and not having cameras on the outside or inside. And then to add insult to injury, you show a visualization instead, but you render it on a $300 Windows laptop with Intel integrated graphics. If you guys saw that. This is a funny thing I thought was funny. Like, rocket goes up, then sideways, and then down. That's space travel, folks. Now, the last thing I want to show you is something that I posted yesterday as well. And I thought this was wild. Oops, because I did not know this. So I put, this is wild. Did you know that the Apostle Paul preached against Artemis, a false god that fell from the sky? And Artemis has many different names. I think Diana is one of the names. So it's Liberty, Columbia, Ishtar. It's different gods from different civilizations that did exist. These were fallen angels or Nephilim, demonic human hybrids, as the Bible tells us. But it says NASA then named its space program Artemis, and the Artemis 2 is going to the moon mission today. So it says the Apostle Paul's teaching against Artemis in Ephesus was a direct confrontation between the early Christian gospel and the dominant pagan cult of Asia Minor, resulting in significant economic and religious disruption. As detailed in Acts 19, Paul argued that gods made with human hands are not gods at all, which directly challenged the worship of an ancient mysterious image that Ephesians believed fell from heaven. Isn't that crazy? Falling from heaven, Artemis. And this is just the verse says Artemis and of the sacred stone that fell from the sky. All right. So this is coming from Acts 19. If you want to go ahead and look at that reference. I have a lot more to bring you. And one of the ways that you can support the work I have going on here, fighting against the fake narrative, the lies, the deception, and waking people up to the truth before it's too late. Because guys, we are entering the darkest point of all humanity, and we are in the last days. Jesus Christ is returning. And this is one of the ways that you can help support, get this word out, fight back against the censorship by going to realmelanieking.com. Now, this is a shirt I've shown many times, but I think it's appropriate, right? It says, did we though? Did we though? And I have it for men, for women, different colors. But look at that. Did we though? Did we ever land on the moon, guys? I don't think so. It's the gray one, the red, and the blue. So this is one way you can support me. But another way is just by becoming a member. Just because a couple bucks a month helps me keep going, not take any type of sponsorship. Because I told you, I don't trust anybody, especially in these days. I have to really vet them. And so we're just going to keep going until the lights shut off. But you guys are what make it happen. So the link for my shop, realmelanieking.com, as well as other ways that you can support this work will be below in the description box. And with that, child, I will see you on the next one.